The Knicks post-game show is presented by Tri-State Audi. Visit your Tri-State area Audi dealer today. Forget the 4-game losing streak. Forget the string of 9 losses in the last 11 games. The Knicks obliterated the Nets tonight. Landry Shamet, 6 of 6 from downtown. Mikal Bridges and the Knicks blow out his former team. Final score, 120-66. That's a 54-point win. That's the largest margin of victory in Knicks franchise history. Wow, great to have you with us, Bill Pidto, along with Wally Szczerbiak. Quite a turnaround.
Oh, yeah.
We talked in the pregame that the Knicks needed a win. A dominant win is what they got. How'd they do it?
It's a get-right game. How'd they do it? By looking themselves in the mirror and saying to each individual player, and along with a nice little team meeting led by Jalen Brunson, we are not playing up to our capabilities. And they had enough. Hopefully that was rock bottom, what happened against the Dallas Mavericks on Monday. And you saw how good this team really is. I mean, they're championship contenders for a reason, NBA Cup winners for a reason. We knew this stretch after the NBA Cup was going to be tough. Team was going to be a little worn down. The schedule might catch up to them. I love the way Coach Brown handled it, though. He let the players kind of figure it out that they're not playing up to snuff. And when it came down to, we got to turn this on, guys, they turned it on big time today.
They turned it on right from the opening tip. We all talked in the pregame about how important the start was.
Yep.
Knicks won the first quarter 38-20. Wally never looked back.
They didn't, and they were able to set their defense. It looked like they were organized. They were controlling the pace of the game and the tempo of the game and using their incredible skill level at every position. The Knicks have elite players on their team, so you want to be able to just get organized in your offense and run tight offense. How about that pass? Karl Anthony Towns, the wraparound to Josh Hart. Josh Hart looked really healthy coming off that ankle injury. Everyone was just clicking. The team was completely connected. The tone was set from the beginning. And this Nets team has struggled, and the Knicks wanted to send a message that there's no way you have a chance to pull off a win in our building. And the Knicks got back to, quite frankly, playing the way they were at the beginning of the year. Remember how dominant they were to start at home. They were unbeatable. They started the season, whatever it was, 12-1, 11-1. You know, you came in here and the Knicks were blowing teams off the floor. And the way Landry Shamet shot the ball, 6 for 6, completely locked in. It looks like after that missing 2 months, it's not easy to come right back in the lineup. But he looked great tonight, and that's a great sign for the Knicks.
All right, so the previous largest margin of victory in Knicks franchise history was 48. They won tonight by 54. Largest lead by the Knicks in the play-by-play era in this game. At one point, they were up by 57 points, and it's the fewest points allowed in the NBA since November of 2016. Here now with Landry Shamet. Landry, congrats on a great win. Thanks for dropping by. What's it like to play in a game like that?
You know, we've been, obviously, it's no secret to anybody. This has been a bit of a tough stretch for us. So that's the beautiful thing about the NBA. You know, quick turnarounds, and we had an opportunity to, you know, come out and work on ourselves and, you know, do things the right way. And I think we did that tonight, regardless of the, you know, the outcome being a larger blowout. You know, that was a picture of, you know, what we did and shows what we can do and what we're capable of.
What was the biggest difference tonight as compared to the recent nights where you guys have struggled a little bit?
Connectivity, physicality, setting the tone, dictating. We've been talking about a lot of these things in practice, and you know, a lot of really just the controllables on our end. Taking care of those early on, you know, sets the tone for the rest of the game, regardless of who you're playing. So we've got to find a way to roll this into, you know, the next one.
You come back, this is your 4th game back off the shoulder injury. You go 6 of 6 from downtown. What's it mean to you to be able to come back from the shoulder injury again and have a game like this?
You know, I just trust my work, and you know, there's other ways. I know the shots went in tonight, but you know, there's other ways where I want to help my team win games defensively, talking, continuing to help us get better on all those fronts. So. Means a lot, obviously, when the ball goes in, but you know, there's a lot of areas still where we can grow defensively and collectively.
Landry, thanks for dropping by. Congrats on a great performance.
Yep, thank you.
Tell you what, Wally, goes without saying, if you get 6 of 6 from Shamet off the bench from 3, that's a key X factor, is it not?
I knew he was locked in watching the game. He was making every shot, nothing but net. And then when you look at the box score and he didn't miss from 3, that's pretty impressive. He was center cut every single stroke that he put up there. And he's moving great. His defense is very impactful. He has very quick feet, very aggressive and physical at the point of attack, exactly what the Knicks need Mike Brown shortened his rotation a little bit, having Landry Shamet back in the game, in the lineup, doing things like this takes this team to a new level. It really secures the bench. It's exactly what Mike Brown wants out of a guy coming in off the bench: aggressiveness, being locked in, shot making, and defense. I mean, Mike Brown is a defensive coach at the core, and it is eating him alive the way this team has been giving up points lately. And they got back in a big way to playing the way they're capable of on the defensive end of the floor.
And how? Fewest points allowed by the Knicks since 2012. They were fantastic. As we take a look at tonight's thrilling moment, brought to you by FanDuel Casino. Get your thrill on. The Nets, Wally, shot 29%.
That'll help you in all the defensive rating numbers and everything. Having a game like this is exactly what the Knicks needed. It just all started with, I think, the guys coming together in the locker room and saying, we got to hold each other accountable. We're better than this. We can't allow teams to come in and just get into a rhythm, get into a flow. We can't use the excuse of the NBA Cup that we're a little worn down, we're a little tired with the schedule, whatever. It was just enough is enough. A little break in the schedule here where the Knicks are going to get a little more respite before a big game against Philly. And this type of effort was phenomenal. And I can't wait to see if they can duplicate this type of defense against that vaunted backcourt in Edgecombe and Maxey that's really hurt the Knicks in the first couple meetings. But this connectivity, this effort leading to easy baskets, just a phenomenal job by everyone out there coming together. And I think tightening the rotation a little bit is something that we got to keep an eye on, because now that this team's completely healthy, Mike Brown has a lot of options. But he's got to start setting the table for, if you want to get minutes on an NBA floor, you better play winning basketball, especially on the defensive end of the floor. He's going to hold these guys to a high standard on defense.
Seems like the top three off the bench right now are Shamet, Mitchell Robinson, and Deuce McBride,
yes,
with Jordan Clarkson on the fence a little bit right now. Monica McNutt helped call the game on the radio on ESPN York. Monica now joins us. What do you think, my friend?
Well, that was fun. Skylar Darrell, shout out to Skylar Darrell, was back with us for stats on the radio, and we were all tracking the fourth quarter record for fewest points allowed. It had previously been 8, if not for the Danny Wolf 3 late in the fourth. I think the Knicks would have actually set a new record. It would have been 7, but I mean, that was fun. I think, as much as I think the context is important, right? That's an organization going in a different direction from what the Knicks are looking to do this year. We asked Deuce McBride about that, and I teed up the question with that exact comment, and he said, what we all know to be true, it's not even about who's on the other side. It's about us as a team and taking care of home, being who we want to be when we step out on the floor. And so that was an emphatic answer to all the noise of the week.
Yeah, I love that, Monica. It's all about the Knicks locker room. They needed to get right within that locker room, not worry about who they're playing, not worry about the schedule, what's going on. Just play up to our capabilities, and it was just an incredible performance and a big turnaround that they really needed.
Jalen Brunson, Monica, 20 points. We know we reportedly had a players-only meeting after the loss against Dallas, showing his leadership qualities. What do you think about his performance tonight?
I thought, well, this is my first half box score, so I won't read any numbers off of that. I thought he did a great job of just being steady. And one of the things that I liked in that first half in particular, y'all, the first quarter, he had 11 points. You know, he's the second best first quarter scorer in the league right now behind Luka Doncic. But everything seemed to come in flow. I thought you saw this team going back to good to great in terms of passing the basketball, passing up good shots to get great shots. It wasn't just Jalen Brunson, it was the entire team. But I do think when Jalen Brunson is part of setting the tone and how you start, the Knicks put up 38 points in that first quarter. It usually is a good sign of what's to come in a basketball game. And so the captain and the freshly minted all-star starter did what he's supposed to do as a leader.
Yeah, I love that. All-star starter, I love hearing that. Say it as much as you want, Monica. He was outstanding, and I think the leadership qualities really came out in this game. When you have a game and a performance like you had on Monday, and Jalen came back in his first game, he was a little off. You could tell he was a little rusty. But he said, enough with the excuses. Guys, we got to get back to playing the way we're capable of. This is unacceptable, losing 9 out of 11. And that was just an incredible message to send to the Nets and to I think, the rest of the NBA, that the Knicks are still going to be a force to be reckoned with.
So Monica was off the last couple of games. She's back and they win. Is there any correlation, Monica?
I don't know,
there
Pidto.
you go.
You
there
called
you go.
it out, not me.
There you go.
All right, we'll see you soon. As always, we appreciate it. When we come back, we have the post-game comments from Mike Brown as his Knicks improved to 26-18 We'll hear what he has to say about the largest margin of victory in Knicks franchise history coming up.
The Knicks postgame show is presented by Audi. Visit your Tri-State Audi dealer today.
Yes, the Knicks won by 54, 120-66 over the Nets. 66 points, the fewest points any team has scored in the league all season long. We continue now from the corner three, presented by Michelob Ultra Superior Light Beer. Next up for the Knicks on Saturday, they take on the 76ers. That's a national TV game. So our next Knicks game here on MSG is next Tuesday with the Sacramento Kings in town. Let's now listen into the post-game comments from Knicks coach Mike Brown, as always, presented by Chase.
I told our guys that, defensively, we were really good. We had a level of physicality on and off the ball. Our closeouts to contest were really, really good. They shot 29% for the game, and so there were plenty of offensive rebounds to get. And they only had 4 offensive rebounds for the game. And, they have some really good athletes, some pretty good size, guys that have a good nose for the ball, and our guys did a phenomenal job keeping them off the glass. But, I tell you, defensively, one of the things we've been talking about with our guys is to communicate. And their communication was off the charts. Every time down the floor something was happening defensively, I heard it from my seat, just the guys talking and trying to help one another on that end of the floor. Mitch was our defensive player of the game, by the way. But and then offensively, our pace was really good. Our spacing was there, and it allowed us to make quick decisions with the basketball. And every time we made a quick decision with the ball, we got downhill, and we did a phenomenal job sharing the basketball. The one thing that I brought up to the group was the fact that our young guys played a lot of minutes tonight, and they practiced with Westchester earlier today, and so for them to come out here and play the right way, but play hard for 12 minutes or whatever it was in that fourth quarter was a lot of fun to see.
Mike, the three-point defense against Dallas wasn't there today. You guys kind of get a handle on the shooters. Just what did you see from that standpoint? Just the switch from last game to this one.
I thought our communication was off the charts, and so guys knew what their responsibility was on the backside because they were communicating. We had 5 guys on a string, so when the ball moved, we all moved, which put us in position to help on the closeouts. And then at the end of the day, our closeouts were on point. Great closeouts, great job closing to airspace, and then being the second jumper.
Mike, Jalen's out in the court. There have been some soul searching the last couple of days. Just, what have the last couple of days been like before culminating in a historic win?
The reality of it is, I've said this before, when you go through adversity, it starts with an individual looking in the mirror, starting with me. I have to look in the mirror. I have to see how I can help him. And, we all do. And I think you'd have to ask him, but I think that's what he's saying at the end of the day. What can I do to help this team? Because we know we're better on both sides of the ball. We know we're better than whatever our record has said in the last month or so. And so what can I do to help this team win? And, it's what our standard is. You got to sacrifice. So sometimes you may not get the minutes you may hope for. You may not get the touches. You may not get the shots or whatever it may be. But you got to sacrifice to do whatever you can to help the team win. You got to be connected. As a leader, I got to find ways to uplift the group and connect the group. You got to be competitive. You got to keep thinking about, how can we get this win? What can I do to get this win? How hard can I play to get this win? And then you got to keep believing. You got to keep believing in each other and the process, and all the while everybody holding everybody accountable.
Mike, What does it say for you to see your team respond like this? I mean, it's a record-setting win. By the margin of victory, you beat the previous one by like 7. I mean, of all time. And I mean, to respond big time after all this adversity, what was it like for you to watch that? After everything
I didn't know about the record really until it was mentioned here, but just seeing us play the way we're capable of playing, and again, I don't know what the score will be every night, but the things that we did out on the floor, we've talked about, we've drilled, we've watched film on, and our guys are more than capable, and so to go see them put it together for 48 minutes was a lot of fun.
Coach, what do you think of the year? You were talking about like 20 plus sprays like every night, and as the year's gone on, it's kind of become a little bit less frequent. Tonight, I don't know what your numbers were, but it did seem like you guys did a really good job being able to like hit the paint and kick out to the perimeter for threes. Like when you guys are on well in that aspect, what do you think you're doing well to create those? When you get away from them, what do you feel like you guys could be doing to improve?
Yeah, the first thing is the spacing has to be right in order for it to work, and our spacing was really good tonight. The next thing is you guys have to make quick decisions. So if the ball gets swung, Derek can't sit there and hold it, because if he does, then the defense settles, and now it's hard to get by the next guy. So those are the two biggest things in terms of how we can get sprays. The spacing has to be right, and then our decisions have to be quick. You can factor in pace, you can factor in ball reversals as well, but those first two are big ones for us to get to the paint.
Mike, how do you make sure that
and
this
then
win?
the last one is to play off 2 feet. Because you get to the paint, and if you jump and you play off 1 foot, now, defense is too good. Now, if a guy starts to go this way, you're in trouble, and that's where turnovers happen. So I apologize.
Sorry. You're going to Philly in a couple days. How do you make sure that this win isn't an aberration and that you can build on it?
Well, we know it's not an aberration. I mean, we're sitting in either third or fourth place, and we hadn't played well, and we're still in a pretty good position with a lot of games left. Obviously we've had some struggles, and I will continue to say this. This may not be the last time we struggle during the year. I don't know. But what it does continue to show us is that if we play the right way, the things I mentioned, it doesn't matter who's in front of us, we'll be able to find ways to get wins, but it's about the process more than anything else. If your process is right and you embrace the process, good things will happen long term for you.
Coach, what are your thoughts about Cat and just the nature of the offensive fouls that he's been picking up? It seems like he keeps hooking on his drives. Is that something that you're seeing on film, and what could you do to help him?
No, Cat's a smart guy. He knows great players make adjustments, and he has, and he will continue to make adjustments to his game. We want him to continue to be aggressive, and if he feels that he's getting hit before, hopefully the officials will do a better job of calling maybe the first foul instead of the second foul, which is a lot of times human nature. But great players make adjustments to their game. I'm sure Cat's going to figure it out. He got called for 2 tonight. He hadn't been called for any in a while, and so I think good things will happen with him going forward.
Knicks beat the Nets 120-66. The most points the Nets scored in any one quarter tonight, 20 was their high in the first quarter.
Lockdown defense, Bill Pidto.
All right, so looking ahead here, Knicks are off tomorrow and Friday. Mm-hmm. They're at Philly Saturday and then off Sunday and Monday. Interesting break in the schedule. What impact might this have on what we see going forward before the All-Star break?
You take the rest whenever you can get it. I think Mike Brown has done a very good job, along with the training staff, of managing a really tough part of the schedule, especially after the 83rd game is going to turn into that NBA Cup winning championship game against the San Antonio Spurs, and then back-to-back right after, then the holidays. So you take these rest days, you get the rest, you got to come out and answer the bell against Philadelphia. They beat you twice on your home floor, so you want to return that favor and beat them, and then you got 2 more rest days, and then you start gearing up, getting ready for that All-Star break, and you know what you're capable of. So now you recaptured it, and now you can't have any more slippage going into these next couple weeks going into the All-Star break.
Why is Philly such a tough matchup?
Because of their speed. Their speed causes everyone in the league a lot of problems. They cause the Knicks a lot of problems. They manipulate and use pick and rolls very well, and they're lightning quick to get by you off the dribble. And if you get by someone off the dribble, then it's panic mode from behind and wide open shots all over the place.
Knicks are at Philly on Saturday. It's a national TV game, but you can listen on the radio on ESPN New York. Knicks will try to keep it going against Philly after Jalen Brunson and company blew out the Nets tonight, 120-66.
The Knicks postgame show is presented by Audi. Visit your Tri-State Audi dealer today.
Next four for the Knicks at Philly Saturday, home against the Kings on Tuesday, at Toronto Wednesday, and then home on Friday, a week from Friday, to take on the Blazers. Back with more after this. The Knicks are at Philly Saturday. That's on national TV. So our next Knicks game here on MSG next Tuesday. The Knicks will play host the Kings, 7 o'clock pregame, game time at 7:30. You can also stream our coverage on the Gotham Sports App. Want more than just a postgame show? Link your eligible TV subscription to stream Knicks games free or subscribe today in the Gotham Sports App. Just go to gothamsports.tv to learn more.